to say it has been a massive week for North Melbourne is certainly an understatement, with Brent Harvey's record-breaking game and, of course, their finals hopes on the line. Star ruckman Todd Goldstein joins us now. What's it been like at Arden Street this week?
Yeah, it's been quite measured. I think, obviously there's a lot of fuss about Boomer, but for the playing group, it's sort of, we haven't really noticed it too much. I think Boomer's off been doing his own thing. His book signing was well away from us, and he's been in all these interviews. But, obviously you get a lot of questions about it. But other than that, it's just a normal week preparing for the Saints.
What does it mean to you to be playing alongside him in this historic game?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling, and I think it'll be an incredible moment to have the rest of our lives. I think, not very often do you get to see this sort of thing, and I don't think anyone thought Tuck's record would be broken, and I certainly think Boomer's is going to be hard. So it's a massive privilege for all of us, and I think, no matter how your body's feeling, you're putting your hand up, that's for sure.
Todd, can you tell us something about Boomer that we don't know? As a teammate, you see things that we don't.
Oh, I think the thing about Boomer, who's been around for 20 years, everything's been noted about him. It's just his professionalism. It's second to none. That Brad said he's played with some of the best of all time in Voss and players like that, and nothing you've seen, nothing Boomer does is out of the ordinary. But he does everything right.
Got a bad habit that we should know about?
He's massively OCD, so that's his biggest thing. His locker's immaculate. Apparently at home he's even worse. If a couple of stones are out of place, he'll make sure he puts them back in the same spot. So I think that's his biggest flaw, I think.
That's a pretty good one to have, being very super clean. As an All-Australian ruckman, obviously you're held to really high standards. How would you say your form's tracking at the moment?
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting last probably 8 weeks. I think, I started off the season quite well. I was quite happy with how it was going, and obviously a few things occurred, and I probably dropped off a little bit. But I think last week was a little bit more of a step in the right direction. I started moving a bit better, started attacking the contest a bit more. So, I think I've started to make an improvement, and we're working pretty hard away from the games to improve that. But I'm definitely starting to track the right way.
You look at the stats, and there's before the knee and after the knee. We see them here. You're down in everything except hit-outs, so down in contested ball, down in marks, down in clearances. How impaired have you been? Is it a case that you've been able to get around the ground? Has that been what's caused?
Yeah, I think early on it was definitely around when I missed the Richmond game, so Sydney and stuff like that. It was definitely bothering me a bit and just wasn't quite moving as well. It was harder to get going. So I was more focusing on just the ruck contest and getting that down. But now I think last week I got back to moving the way I want to, and I think the rest of it will come. I got to a lot more contests, which I wasn't getting to probably the 6 weeks prior to that, and that's probably the key to my game is I don't have to stick every mark, but just have to get to the contest and provide a contest for the team. And I think I did much better last week, and hopefully the stats can start to track up as well.
Yeah, Majak Daw picks up a little bit. He's out of contract, and there's speculation about his future. Are you prepared to give up a bit of ruck time if that helps keep him at the club?
Yeah, absolutely. I've said all along that I'm not fussed what role that I play in this side. It's more we want to win the premiership. So everyone's happy to sacrifice their game if we can get the ultimate and win a premiership. So, if our best side is having me and Madge playing together, I'm more than happy to go forward and try and kick some goals. Everyone likes kicking goals, so I'm more than happy to change.
You can mark like that.
Exactly. I'm probably not quite as high. I'm probably a fraction lower, but it was a pretty unbelievable mark, wasn't it?
Do you feel like that win against the Pies was a real turning point for the club after that losing streak and being able to grind out a really gritty win?
It's definitely got the opportunity to be. I think we got back to playing the sort of footy that we were early on in the season. Our pressure was right up. I think our disposal, we were moving the ball a lot faster, which we'd become a bit stagnant over the previous week. So I think we showed a lot of the characteristics we want to be as a side. You don't want to go too early and say that, yes, we've turned the corner, but as long as we can keep that up and we understand what our identity is, I think we definitely can attack the end of this season, and I think we've proven over the last few years that at the end of the season we start to play our best footy. What's
the short diagnosis of what went wrong in the losing streak? Was it belief?
I don't think it's necessary. I think it was our pressure dropped off a little bit, and once our pressure dropped off, we weren't taking opportunities. You become a pretty average side, and like everyone does, the Saints are the same. When their pressure's right up there, they're a very good side. If it drops off a little bit, you come back to the pack. So, we realised that our pressure wasn't there. Our disposal was pretty terrible for a few weeks as well. So, we had to work on all that sort of stuff. But it was just about getting that dare back in our game and not be too stagnant.
The Saints have won 5 of their past 6. They've been brilliant at Etihad Stadium. Does their speed concern you?
Not too much. I think any side can look fast if you're moving the ball unpressured. So if you can put the pressure on them and things like that, it allows you to slow them up. And I think we've got some pretty fast players in Lindsay Thomas, in Majak, in Wellesley, and I could go on. So we've got a lot of speed as well. So I don't think that worries us too much. Like always, the game will be decided in the contest, and that's what we'll be looking to do.
Yeah, retro week. We gather you. We've seen some pretty funny photos, and we've found one of you.
Yeah, awesome.
So I think
well, we've seen a lot of photos come out of the woodwork this week, and we do have one of you in your younger years. Not that long ago, but tell us the story here.
Yeah, I've definitely lost a little bit of weight since then.
I didn't want to say that, but you do look leaner now.
When I first got the footy club, I think I still had a lot of puppy fat to lose. So, my body wasn't quite an elite athlete at that point. So, it probably took 2 years to really get that right, get the diet right, and all that sort of thing. So I lost a bit of weight in there. So luckily, and luckily I don't have that mop on my head either.
Is there a sense that if you guys can get going and start a bit of momentum, given the finals record you've had in recent years and the fact that you can stand up under pressure, that you can make an influence on September? It's just a matter of qualifying and getting that momentum?
Yeah, there's great belief in this group. I think we know that our best is good enough. We probably could have been Hawks who are top of the ladder now if we had a kick straight a few weeks ago. So, I know we know our best is good enough. We just have to do it consistently. And I think, the footy's a funny game. You can win 9 in a row and then lose 6 of the next 7. So it turns pretty quickly. So hopefully the win last week can get us some momentum, and there's nothing like winning form. So, hopefully we can take that into this week and get a bit of momentum.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in this week. Thanks for bringing in the pick as well, and good luck on the weekend.
Cheers, thanks.